Sunday stroll, Sunday, April 30th, last day of April. April showers bring May flowers, and maybe flooded basements, water. That's what we're going to talk about today, water. And we're on Home Avenue, which was opened up in 1894. It was opened up actually to come to this location for the power, the electric power company. But we're not going to talk about that today because it's raining, and we're going to talk about water. That's right, water. Which brings us, my umbrella just exploded, which brings us to the Ottawa River, an ancient river that the Algonquin called Adaway for trade, because it was their highway, their method of getting around. It runs from the 250 kilometers north of Ottawa all the way to Lake Attu Mountains, where it spills into the St. Lawrence. Today it's known as Kilisiki, which is the Rivière La Grande, the Grand River. And there's a lot of pressure on the river. There are 5 hydro dams on the river. They start north at Mattawa, then Dejoachim Swisha, it's called, near Chalk River. Then the Chenot Dam, Renfrew, Shaw Falls, or Chat Falls as some people call it, in Arnprior, and of course the Carillon Dam. Just a point of interest, Bud Lefebvre, whom some of you know, Lindsay Lefebvre's dad, worked on Swisha Dam. He was fresh out of agriculture school and spent a summer there, looking after heavy equipment and driving big shovels and tractors and bulldozers. My dad also worked there as a surveyor, and both of them were called Bud. Anyways, I digress. In Vanglekill, we had water from our backyard wells, and we used outhouses. When indoor plumbing came in the 1960s, 70s, we relied on 4 wells outside of town. And the wells had to produce water at a high volume in order to keep up the pace of serving everybody. Then the wells began to peter out, and the town started looking for new water sources. But nothing they found could actually meet the demand. And that's why some families on High Street and possibly other higher locations in Vanglekill suffered in the summers because water was very scarce. And so the second-story toilets couldn't flush properly. So the town felt the urgency. They even hired water diviners to try and find the water, but it just wasn't there. And so we have water from the Ottawa River, Kitchissippi River. And that's one of the pressures that is on the Ottawa River. The water is being pumped so far inland to service communities. Today it's raining and we have snow melt, so we don't seem to be too worried. We're more worried about flooding. But actually we have to be concerned about overusing the river. So once water was going to be used from the 4 wells, it needed a place to be stored. And here it is. This is our water tower in Vanglekill. And it is still used for water storage, except now it's used for water from the Ottawa River. Victor, you have a glass of water?
Yes.
Yes, you do. Enjoy your water, Victor, from the Ottawa River. That's our quick Sunday stroll. Utilitarian sites that have history. Oh, by the way, if you lived in an apartment and people were depending on independent wells in their backyards, where did they get their water? Well, actually, there was a common well. And that common well was over here, behind the McQuaig Cheney store, the museum building. There's still a cement cover on the well. The pump was removed, and you can see it just at the edge of the parking lot if you were to drive in. And that was a well that many people claimed was the best water in town. Thanks to you all for watching the Water Tower of Van Cleek Hill. Have a great week, everybody. Stay dry.